Today I want to show you how to use something called the Live Paint tool in Illustrator, which is very cool. So let's get started. Let's say you have a group of objects or something you made, and just to be clear, this is pretty straightforward. It's a regular set of lines that have been drawn. This doesn't work with like clipping groups and things like that, but if you haven't made those, it's not a big issue. So if I say Object, Live Paint, Make, after selecting what I want. So again, you select the object first, right? So I have this whole thing selected. Object, Live Paint, Make. I have now created what's called a Live Paint group. And if you're like, what are you talking about, Silver? If I go to my layers and I bring that up, there it is, right? So you can see the group, and it's a Live Paint group. See that? It says that on there. All right, so if I come back over here, and I'm going to grab the Live Paint bucket. Now the easiest way to get it is to hit the letter K. Now be careful, if this is all selected and you hit the letter K and start to use this, it's going to fill everything in. So in other words, if I have this all selected and I hit the letter K and then I grab, let's say, the color black, it didn't work, but sometimes it fills everything in. Anyway, this is the Live Paint bucket right here. Okay, so K will bring you there, but you can see that if I hover over everything that turns red, lets me go ahead and fill this in. So I can create these really nice fills very quickly just by doing this, and I really like that. It can be other colors, by the way, too. So if I wanted to, obviously fill this in with other colors, so be it. You'll notice that if you have a gap, see this? It's reading that as one color. There are several ways around this. So one way to solve this problem is if you wanted to say, like, make these different colors or only Live Paint bucket one of them, I can come in with my direct selection tool and move this like that and hit the letter K again, and see, now that closes it off. So again, over here too. So that's one way to solve it. Another way is you can actually tell the Live Paint bucket tool, you know what, it's okay for me to have some gaps. So if I double click on the Live Paint bucket tool and this comes up, and I'm trying to remember where it is, they moved it recently. There's a way to adjust the gaps. Maybe it's over here. Yeah. Cancel object, Live Paint. Here we are. Gap options. Okay. And so I can say paint stops at, let's make it large gaps, or I can customize my gaps and say, okay. So let's see what happens. Now that I have that, I still have a gap here, but if I hit the letter K, set default. Still didn't work. It's not letting me. Did I actually do that right? Gap options, large gaps, yep. Okay, so I guess it's still too large of a gap, okay, for me to do. But if I said, for example, move this in, so it's not quite close, right? Hit the letter K, let's see what happens. Oh, see, it reads it as a separate object. So there are workarounds there, just letting you know. There are other limitations. One of them is text. Text in its current form cannot be live painted, so I have some text right here. So if I grab all this and I try to Live Paint that right there, and I go to Object, Live Paint, see, it's gray. So that sometimes happens, but if I took the text, right, and I said Object, Expand, yep, okay, and then I grab it all, it's no longer text. So when I say Object, Live Paint, it works. Okay, another common problem, let's say you have something and you want it to be within the artboard. So I grab all this and I'm live painting away, and I'm having a merry old time making this work. So Object, oops, Live Paint. Oops, did I make this into a Live Paint group? I can't even remember. Yeah, I did. Okay, so it's not going to work, right, where you have an artboard. In other words, I'm not going to just automatically have this area colored in with a value. You know why? Because there's no shape there. So if you want to create a Live Paint group and have it go up to your edges, create a shape, right? And obviously that's kind of weird, but edit, undo, rectangle, and grab that rectangle that I just got rid of. I'll make it have a stroke, no fill, create a shape. Not being too careful about this, but there we go. And then select everything, and now Object, Live Paint, Make. And now when I come in here, with this, ta-da, see, it lets me grab these areas because there is something defining the edges. So just be aware of that, okay? But there might be reasons why you might want to use this in your positive negative space design. So I wanted you to be aware of its existence so you can give it a try out. Have fun.